Charles Whitmore was a man who had everything money could buy: palaces of glass, fleets of cars, and power that made people bow their heads when he entered a room. Yet beneath the surface of his wealth lay a hollow silence. He lived alone in his mansion, surrounded not by family or friends, but by walls too high for anyone to climb. His days were orderly, predictable, and empty, until he discovered the secret of his maid, Evelyn Brooks. Evelyn had been working in his home for more than 10 years. She was a quiet woman, always arriving before dawn, tidying every corner, and leaving long after sunset. Charles barely noticed her at first. She was just part of the background, like the antique vases or the marble floors. But Evelyn carried within her a storm no one else could see. She had been diagnosed with a life-threatening illness months earlier, one that required urgent and costly treatment. She never spoke of it, never complained. Instead, she hid her pain behind a gentle smile, coughing silently in corners and clutching her chest when no one was watching. One evening, fate pulled back the curtain on her secret. Charles had returned home earlier than usual and found a crumpled envelope lying on the floor beside Evelyn's cleaning cart. It was a medical bill. When he read the words "Stage 3, his heart sank. At that moment, he saw Evelyn not as a maid, but as a human being who had given years of her life to serve him faithfully, while quietly fighting a battle against death. Confronting her that night, Charles asked why she had never told him. Tears welled up in Evelyn's tired eyes as she whispered, "Because I am just your maid, sir. My struggles are mine alone. I couldn't trouble you with them." Those words pierced Charles's heart. For the first time, he felt the weight of his wealth not as privilege, but as responsibility. He made a decision that very moment. He would pay for Evelyn's treatment in full, sparing no expense. Within days, she was admitted to one of the best hospitals, receiving care she could never have dreamed of affording. Evelyn survived. Slowly, her color returned, her strength rebuilt itself, and her laughter, soft and rare, began to echo in the halls of the mansion. Charles, too, changed. The cold billionaire who had once measured his life in profits and deals now measured it in smiles and second chances. He sat by her bedside, not as her employer, but as someone who had found in her courage a reflection of his own emptiness. Months later, when Evelyn was healthy again, Charles walked with her in the garden and confessed, "You taught me something I never understood. Money can build empires, but kindness builds souls." Evelyn smiled, her eyes brimming with tears. "And you saved mine, sir." Their story became one of healing, not only of Evelyn's body, but of Charles's lonely heart. He had discovered that true wealth was not in the numbers on a bank screen, but in the humanity that binds one soul to another. But life had another twist to offer, a second story that grew from the first. Evelyn, once healed, could not forget the women she had met in the hospital. Maids like her, single mothers, cleaners, and workers who had no one to rescue them. They remembered their trembling voices as they wondered if they would live to see their children grow. With Charles's support, she founded a small charity for domestic workers battling illness, providing them with medical aid and hope. At first it was modest, just a few hospital bills covered, a few medicines bought. But Charles, moved by her determination, poured his resources into her vision. Together, they transformed that little charity into a foundation that reached thousands. Charles, who once built skyscrapers, now built hospitals. Evelyn, who once cleaned houses in silence, now stood before crowds, speaking with a voice strong enough to inspire others.